Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
But it's not just any day.
Oh.
No, it's Halloween, you idiot.
No, I know, but you can't throw that in? It's
no,
like,
that's not the
Halloween
Halloween.
after
There's no
party or
Halloween air horn.
Who does Halloween
It would be
air horn?
dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun.
It's our spooky Halloween special.
So scary.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
Yeah, He-Man.
Oh,
God, my microphone just fell. Ron cast a spell.
You put your wand away, Ron. I had a nickel.
I get no respect.
Wait, what kind of Halloween special is it? It's that kind of Halloween special.
The funny thing is you beat me to it because I was going to say that's not my wand.
So in this episode, as always, we will talk a little beer and then roll into some Premier Leagues, MLS news.
El Classico.
And El Classico, that's right. I knew there was a third one. Yeah. But today we'll do things a little themed, a little spooky themed. So then that means first up, we're gonna do something completely different.
What?
Huh?
Because this is the Brewtiful Game.
Yeah.
Even though usually it's all about craft beer.
Does that mean the episode tonight is the Brewtiful Game?
Dang it. Go back. We're going to start over.
Why did we think of that earlier?
We're going to redo the song in a minor key, and it's the Brewtiful Game. Oh, dang it. There it was.
Why didn't I think of that?
Terrible.
That's not terrible. That's great.
That's terribly awesome.
The
That's what I meant by it.
Brewtiful Game. And it's the pint glass with the hood over it with the two eyes.
Yeah, just kidding me. But it is the Brewtiful Game.
Yep.
And there are other things you brew other than craft beer. There are other craft things that you can brew. We're gonna get into that as I present to you. Give me some spooky sounds. As I present to you from Nektar Meadery, Black Fang, mead with blackberry, clove, and orange zest added. I'll read the bottle, but I'll read it as Dracula because it says our kind has been around for centuries, living in plain sight and yet remain recondite. Now the world is ready for us to come out of the coffin. Don't be afraid. We're going to give you the choice to accept this dark gift. The mead is the life, and it can be yours. The seductive honey, clove, and orange zest penetrate the flood of blackberry in this forbidden libation. You never know what life was until it ran out in a cold black rush over your tongue. It's only mead, Michael. Drink up and meet your maker. Caution. Keep away from sunlight. Product will not sparkle in sunlight. That legit says that on the bottle.
Does it really?
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
So it's like the cover is the bottle's got like a Nosferatu with it's like a steampunk hat and stuff going on. So this was given to me because I work on a Halloween event all freaking year long, and we're close to Halloween, and because that someone gave me this gift from Nektar Meadery. So first, I'm going to tell you what their deal, which is kind of cool.
What's their deal, Blake?
Their deal is guided by geeky imagination, influenced by sub-pop culture, and never satisfied with the status quo. Nektar aims to bring a modern twist on mead, as well as diversify craft mead, cider, and beer. Nektar Meadery was founded in 2006 by Brad and Carrie Dahlhofer with the help of their good friend Paul Zimmerman. Brad has been an avid home brewer since '98, making beers, mead, ciders, and wine for his own enjoyment. When Brad and Carrie got married in 2005, he made a mead to toast at their wedding and received great reviews from the guests. Jokingly, he said he'd someday open a meadery. Paul, a longtime friend and fellow homebrewer, soon began making meads along with Brad in the Dahlhofers' basement. Their meads quickly began winning awards at homebrewing competitions. In the summer of 2006, Carrie was laid off from her job, and while sipping a glass of vanilla cinnamon mead made by Brad, she thought, why not try to sell this? It was then that the three decided to take their mead making to the next level. In the spring of 2008, Brad, too, fell victim to layoffs, and the three worked night and day to prepare for their opening. After 2 years since its inception, Nektar finally opened its doors on August 2nd, 2008, on National Mead Day. Nektar's session meads and hard ciders are now shaping the craft revolution. To say it's been a long road from homebrewing days would be a tremendous understatement, but Nektar continues to increase their production capacity and is currently the largest meadery in the USA. That is kind of awesome. Nektar was the first meadery to join the ranks of the top 100 best breweries in the world by ratebeer.com. Proud of the stories they may be, they put a lot of effort into not taking themselves too seriously.
I didn't know there was a mead day.
but like, how awesome is that? Like their story.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So
pretty neat.
the essential. So first, though, before I give you the essential elements of this specific mead, for those unfamiliar with mead, we'll take a trip through Wikipedia real quick. Mead is an alcoholic.
Say what?
Yeah, we're gonna learn something. Mead is an alcoholic beverage created by fermenting honey with water, sometimes with various fruits, spices, grains, or hops. The alcoholic content ranges from 3.5% to more than 20. The defining characteristic of mead is the majority of the beverage fermentable sugar is derived from honey. It may be still carbonated or naturally sparkling, dry, semi-sweet, or sweet. Mead was produced in ancient history throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia, and has played an important role in the mythology of some peoples. In Norse mythology, for example, the mead of poetry was crafted from the blood of the wise Kavizir and trained the drinker into a poet or scholar. The term mead and honey wine often are used synonymously. Some cultures, though, differentiate honey wine from mead. For example, the Hungarians hold that while mead is made of honey, water, and beer yeast, honey wine is watered honey fermented by recrapment of recrapment? I don't know what that word means, of grapes and other fruits. So that's kind of like, that's what mead is. So that being said, this particular mead is a mead. This is Black Fang. This is a mead with blackberries, clove, and orange zest. Essential elements are those. The appearance is deep red with an enduring legacy of a white head. I think that means a good head retention. Aroma is sweet, pungent, yet balanced. Cloves, spicy yeast with a floral honey back. Experience sweet and smooth, a full-bodied dark berry wine character, reminiscent of Spanish sangria and Grenache grapes. Grenache grapes. The creamy and carbonated mouthfeel finish is dry with a firm clove aftertaste. 6% alcohol.
Their website is pretty cool. They've got a bunch of different.
They have a ton of stuff.
Yeah, Zombie Killer. They have another one called Believe, which has a bear with flaming eyeballs on it. The Black Fang is the one you have there. And then another one called...
Buddy, I'm sorry, I got a whiff of that when I opened it up. This is unlike anything we've had.
Necromangocon. That's cool. Their website is pretty slick. Wow. The Death Unicorn. They have another one.
That name is
Death
awesome.
Unicorn. That's the best band name ever.
We are Death Unicorn.
I can't wait to try this.
Yeah, man. We'll do something a little different.
Yeah,
it looks like blood.
Yeah,
really red. This is going to be fun. And so, sorry, how did you come upon this?
My boss from working on the Halloween event gave me this for opening, saying, cool. Congrats, have a good opening. And I said, I am saving this for our Halloween episode.
That's perfect.
Boom, boom, boom.
It looks like, what's that? That
Simply and
Ferris
Fuego.
clearly had the ESPN app ready to roll.
No, I just got an alert.
It looks like cheer wine. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, the North Carolina soda known as cheer wine.
Yeah.
It does.
Where's that bottle, Mr. Blake?
Okay, gents.
And
the bottle?
did you say where the brewery was from?
I did not say where it was from. It looks like it is bottled in Ferndale, Michigan.
Sweet.
So there you go.
All right. Michigan product.
And man, the ingredients list is just pretty much everything I said. Like, it's a pretty slim list.
Sounds fantastic, though.
All right, gents.
Okay.
Here we go.
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison. There you go. And while we're having some fun with this holiday, Halloween special, we do want to raise a glass to all the folks at Pittsburgh and Leicester, just to say, for what it's worth, the Brewtiful Game is thinking of you. Cheers, gentlemen.
Slanjava. Ooh. There's a lot of clove.
Yeah. It looks like Halloween. It smells a little like Christmas.
Ooh, super smooth.
Yeah, it's tasty.
I mean, meads are typically sweet, but this isn't too.
No, it's not like sangria sweet.
No, yeah. But I definitely get why they say there's a sangria.
Right, there's definitely a taste of it, but it's not
it.
that sweetness.
It's got a tiny bit of bitter as it rolls past your tongue, just the slightest amount. But the flavor changes so much as you drink it. That's really good.
Yeah, because at first you definitely taste like that honey. Maybe that's the blackberry
Yeah, I think you're right.
that you're kind of catching on the end. Then it's got the cloves, which would kind of give you that bitter tongue paralysis taste that cloves give. I don't know how else to describe it, but like that's kind of the vibe it has.
And it's got a very sweet clove smell to it. off the glass.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh, man, this is good. Yeah, and totally different. This is our first mead. And I have another something else that's Halloween themed for when this is done, because this is just a little small snifter.
Good job. Thanks, boss.
Oh, man. Delicious. I know we're going to think of this. I haven't had a mead drink in forever.
Yeah, I haven't either.
And the last time I had it was a very traditional, like this is what you'd have in medieval days kind of thing. So this is a very different vibe. But I love the red vampire. I mean, it looks like what vampires would be sitting there like sipping out of their glasses in like Underworld or something.
I love that it says it's not going to sparkle. That's the best.
Will not sparkle under sunlight. That's awesome. So I guess now that moves us on to a little Premier League, right?
A little Premier League action from week 10.
All right, you want to start us off?
It's a really good week. It's a very good week. That's
it was a good week.
A lot of really nice goals.
I mean, it was a shame that it had sort of, what it had kind of hanging over it, but it was a really great week for some good football.
Agreed. So as we go through, yes.
Oh no, that's the interrupting poetry werewolf. Whatever could he want? Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Man City slays to win the day, but Jurgen Klopp seeks to bar the way. Chelsea from the shadow appears, while Arsenal defies its results from past years. The Spurs start strong, but is it enough to topple the top six, all made of sterner stuff? And from the depths, an evil below, emerges a united flame led by Jose Mourinho. The bottom three seem content to wither, for no weak club can survive the relegation thriller. Oh, that's weird. Who came in the room?
I don't know. I'm speechless.
That was pretty brilliant.
Is that what you were?
I have no idea
secretly working on over there during the.
We recording this
Tottenham Man City match?
Just following watching Tottenham Man City together, and at some point in the second half, this popped in my head, and I had to go grab a notebook and write it down.
The best part was he was over in the corner writing this and giggling and chuckling to himself. And Ferris and I are looking over there like, what is happening? And anytime we made a mention, he'd like look over at like a kid who was just caught doing something.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
It was really pretty entertaining.
My hand's not in the cookie jar.
Very good.
Well, good job.
Very good.
There we go. Hollow, it's a little redo of the Vincent Price monologue from a Thriller. In case you didn't know, and if you didn't know, that's sad.
Well, I have a little.
Very nice.
If we're slightly distracted,
we were doing a little until Halloween.
Yeah, I have a little.
We're always distracted on this podcast. You kidding me?
Top 5 haunted soccer stadiums in England.
What? Oh, this is great.
So, the first one, Highbury Stadium,
which already sounds like
a damn
the haunt at Highbury Stadium. Like, yeah, get that on Netflix.
It used to be the home of Arsenal. This former home of Arsenal FC, Highbury Stadium, is haunted by Herbert Chapman.
That could not be more English.
I know, right?
It's Herbert Chapman, a ghost.
We're going to scare you with a spot of tea,
That's awesome.
Arsenal's most successful pre-World War II manager. He is said to have been spotted on the grounds of this former stadium with a horse that died during the construction.
What?
That's so weird.
Why did it die during the construction?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
In my mind,
was the horse not wearing a hard hat and steel toes?
No, in my mind, he rode up and down the side of the pitch giving commands. That's how he coached.
That's how he coached.
They'll never take your freedom. So he's said to have with the horse. Yeah. In addition to Chapman's presence, Highbury Stadium also features the ashes of other Arsenal fans, furthering the suspicion of a supernatural presence at this site. So the question I have is, what the hell happened to the horse? And who decided to bury Arsenal fans in the ground?
Was it in the ground, or like did fans just do it on their own and decide like, oh, okay, on like the second terrace, I'm going to decide to pour a little bit into the concrete that's still newly poured. Like, I mean, what?
I don't know. I'll have to do some further investigation and catch back up on the next pod.
No wonder they closed the damn stadium down.
That's awesome. Oh, but I have
What was his name? Herbert Chapman?
Herbert Chapman.
Herbert Chapman, yeah.
Now, Ron, I'm going to throw you off, but I have a suggestion. Why don't we jump in to some more, and we'll make this like a fun countdown through the whole episode.
Okay.
To get to the number one. And let us, and when you feel it, time to go to number 4. And we'll do this the whole way down. Because this is awesome. Okay.
So I love it. If we're doing that, I'll stick with Highbury and Arsenal. We'll start with that game first. Okay,
cool. We're not going to go with what we just watched. We'll stick with...
We're not going to go with no. We'll stick with that first.
Yeah.
So to go with this Halloween theme...
This is... awesome. This is my favorite episode since the Boxing Day episode.
I love that we don't plan any of that.
No. The only thing planned were these very, very poor song headlines that are Halloween themed.
Planned by you. Let's make that clear.
Very true. These are the top 25 Halloween songs, according to www.billboard.com. Billboard Entertainment, obviously. So, okay, we'll start with Arsenal. It was a 2-2, Palace and Arsenal. They drew. In the end, probably a fair result.
Oh my God!
I think
this is a great song.
I think
Arsenal. I think 3 games in 6 days showed on Arsenal.
Yes, and it snapped. Obviously, it snapped their 11 game win streak.
Was it not 12 after the Europa League?
I think they made it 11.
I
remember seeing this very cool thing on Bleacher Report whenever they beat whoever they beat in Thursday, that had 11 from Stranger Things, like in the center with Lacazette and everybody around her. So yeah, I think that was their 11th. But yeah, you're right.
Unbeaten in 12 at this point.
And going away to Crystal Palace isn't necessarily an easy place to go, especially when you have somebody like Zaha who just terrorized them the entire game. Won a penalty. I mean, was just all over the place. Again, I think it's a fair result in the end. I think there was some missed calls. The game probably should have been 1-1. I think the second goal from Arsenal was a handball from Lacazette. I think the second goal from Crystal Palace was a dive by Zaha that wasn't caught. He sold it well, but it was a dive. I don't think it was a foul.
The result still kind of ended what it probably should have been.
Right, exactly. A lovely, lovely goal in this, though, by Granit Xhaka off a free kick. What a hell of a strike.
That thing had its own orbit as it pulled around. God, the curl on that was insane.
Man, who's doing this one?
Do you want to do it?
Well, the singer is from North Carolina, so I feel that.
Okay, so all right, so the first song, well, I'll tell what the song is. That way we can kind of have an understanding of how it goes and what the.
I think this is the one that you don't need that for.
Yeah. Okay,
the only one.
Yeah, the only one. Okay. The Gunners went down to South London. They were looking for some points to steal. They were in a bind. They got behind. They was willing to make an even deal. If you don't know, that's the devil went down to Georgia, man. Yeah.
Very good, Blake.
Well, the upside is he doesn't actually sing it. He kind of just speaks.
He kind of speaks it, so it's a little bit easy. Yeah, and that was number 12 on the list. Devil Went Down to Georgia by the Charlie Daniels Band. Great song. A band that I saw like at 5 or 6 years old, and the drummer, I met him, and he thought my rat tail was cool, so I wouldn't let my mom cut it for like a year and a half. Just think about that. In 1985.
Nice. You had a rat tail?
Oh, yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Nicely read, though.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's the one I'm like, I grew up singing that stuff as a kid. So there you go. I'll take that one, because I'm looking at some of these other ones and I'm like,
I know the top one. That's it.
Okay,
this is the only ones I could like.
The very top one.
Yeah.
Okay, well then why don't you do that one? But before that, why don't you share another Haunted Stadium?
All right, Haunted Stadium number 4.
Were these all of the Premier League, or just in the world?
No, these are just
in England.
Just English Premier League stadiums.
Cool.
Premier League, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you a happy one before they get all terrorizing and weird.
I need more names like Hector or Herbert Chapman. That was one.
Oh, there are a few. Not all haunted sports venues have spooky ambiance. Stamford Bridge has its own spirit that actually is said to bring joy to witnesses. The Smiling Man is well known to Chelsea fans.
That sounds horrifying.
That does.
The Smiling Man
creepy.
Does not sound like a friendly.
That's why clowns are so scary.
Did you see him in the window?
They're smiling at me.
Like, that's not.
Just kept smiling at me.
Yeah,
Mommy.
while
Yeah, no,
he's
that's
stabbing
weird.
you. Yeah. No, I don't like that at all.
Well, he is known to Chelsea fans to bring positive outcomes to the lives of anyone who experiences him. A woman who attended a Chelsea game with her husband and saw the smiling man actually won a new car from a raffle that she entered at Stamford Bridge.
And when she drove home, she looked in the rearview mirror, and
he was
smiling
still
man was
there.
in the back seat.
And they crashed the car into a ditch, so it wasn't,
That's the part they left out of this
that's brilliant.
horrible story. The smiling man.
man.
That is friggin' creepy.
I love that we can make stories out of all of these things.
Oh,
So, number 4, Stamford Bridge.
So would you like to do the Chelsea and Burnley one? Might as well do that one.
oh yeah. Since we were just talking at Stamford Bridge,
Chelsea are good. I don't really know.
Burnley or not.
Burnley or not. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a very good Chelsea side, proving that they don't have to have healthy Eden Hazard in the lineup in order to make it happen. Goals from all around the pitch. Murata scores a really nice one at 22nd. Ross Barkley with a nice little dribbler from long distance.
Just added him
He's
to my
been playing
fantasy
great
league.
lately, hasn't he?
Yep, and he had a goal and an assist in this match. Willian with a nice stunner, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the 90+2 with a little bounce around, and he puts that right in the back of the net. Burnley really didn't put up that much of a fight. Chelsea pretty much owned it from...
Especially at home. You would expect more from Burnley.
Yeah. So they just didn't have an answer for Chelsea, so I'll keep taking it. Chelsea's in third place on 24 points.
I think it was good to see Murata finally get on the score sheet real early in the game. That will do him a load of good and just build his confidence. And it's also good to see Rubus Loftus-Cheek. I think he came off the bench in this game.
Yeah.
And just got a late goal. May not have been the nicest of goals, but for a young kid like that coming in as a sub, it's always gonna help build their confidence and kind of get them going and keep them motivated. So a wonderful result for Chelsea. Just what kind of the doctor ordered for some of their players. No Eden Hazard in this game, which I thought was interesting to see. I think he was dealing with a lower back injury or knee injury or some body part.
Well, and if he's any kind of knock, why play him against Burnley?
Yeah.
Burnley have not been
Correct. Right.
anything for Chelsea to be worried about.
Right, and it kind of shows that Chelsea are still good. They still have quality players without him, and he doesn't necessarily need to be in the team to kind of pull those strings. I do think though that
Sorry,
against,
I read your song.
You're welcome.
Just now.
I do think though against the Chelseas of the world, Liverpool of the world, Man Uniteds of the world, you want Hazard in that side, and the result may not have been as lopsided as it was against Burnley.
Oh, sure. I mean, but Chelsea's got, a really good defense. I'm looking forward to them, having those matches. I want to see how they play out because Chelsea with their new manager, quietly awesome.
Absolutely.
Yep. Staying just below the headlines. It's perfect.
Everybody's so worried about Man City and Liverpool.
Yeah. And the top of the table is all really, really pretty tight in the top four. Goal differential really separating the
Another
top
week with
two.
Tottenham below Arsenal, so the world is still all right.
And so the song, the headline for this one, I guess I'll give it a go.
It's a good one. I like.
They did the bash. They did the Chelsea bash. The Chelsea bash. It was a 4-0 smash.
So good.
Good job, Ferris.
That was one of my favorite ones.
So dumb.
Let me see. I gotta figure out where that my internet dropped out real quick. I gotta figure out where that landed in the in the song list though. But
Wait,
it was a Chelsea smash with a 4-0 win there.
Yeah, poor Burnley. I think they're lucky that they're in a season where teams like Fulham, Newcastle, and Huddersfield exist.
So that was number 3 on the top 25 Billboard Halloween songs. Monster Mash, Bobby Boris Pickett, and the Crypt Kickers.
Crypt Kickers, which would be an awesome soccer.
Yeah,
That's my new fantasy team next year, the Crypt Kickers
Kickers.
FC.
Yep.
Crypt Kickers. That's awesome.
So number 3 on the list.
Oh, that's so good.
Awesome.
Number 3 on the list for stadiums.
For spooky haunted stadiums.
This mead is very good, by the way.
This
It's delightful.
is
It
really
shocking me. I didn't. The last time I'd had a mead, it just was too sweet. This is all right, man. This is good. It's not too much. I don't know if it's the cloves kind of peeling the sweetness back, but it's tasty.
So the third most haunted ground in English soccer is Majeski Stadium, Reading FC's home. Near the home stadium of Reading FC lies the spirit of King Henry I, whose remains were discovered by an archaeologist. Following these findings near the stadium of Reading FC, there has been a significant fall from grace from this English Premier League side. Everyone blames the king for a losing record.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So King Henry I is pissed.
King Henry I.
Is he a natural cause king? Did he die on a battlefield? No, he's not a battlefield guy. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still not as creepy as the Smiling Man, even though that one's supposed to be happy.
Yeah, that's not happy at all. It's
No,
really
I think
weird.
In my
and
horror
creepy.
movie, like, you win the lottery or something, and like he just starts showing up.
King
Right,
Henry
like, not in a good way though.
Not in a good way. No, the Smiling Man.
The positive thing happened before he got there, and
You're
then
like-
everything when he's there just happens and goes wrong.
Yeah, you look in like the mirror,
Afterwards,
and it's
right.
like, what was that behind me? And that's like how it starts.
Right.
But you're like, man, and then like the next thing you know, people think you're crazy because you've broken every mirror in your mansion that you bought after doing the lottery. Then you've blown through all of your money, and you end up like just totally dying penniless and poor. Oh, so this is a really good horror movie with this Smiling Man. I'm down. Call us up, Netflix, Black Mirror. We can. We
got it.
We do this. The new Twilight Zone that's coming out. We got you.
So let's take a guess.
Pictures the Smiling Man.
Let's take a guess on Ron's History Corner how Henry I of England died.
Probably like polio or some weird disease.
I was gonna say the gout. Because that's like
Wait, can you die from gout?
Oh, buddy, yeah. Back
Really?
in the day, dude, that's what got Henry VIII. That's so messed up too.
Well,
yeah,
he had syphilis.
He had
a million problems.
The gout's no good news in the medieval ages, guys. It's really good to live in 2018. It's crappy as things can
Penicillin,
see
like,
at
just,
2018. But yeah, we got vaccines. We got
Antibiotics,
When you're
like,
like,
we're good to
oh,
go.
it'd be so romantic to be back in those days. No,
there was no
it wasn't.
Advil back in those days.
No, you would
People
smell.
didn't shower.
You would fall down and scrape your knee and die of gangrene like the week later. So
Okay, so you have the gout.
yeah.
Ferris?
I have polio, but just some weird disease like that. Yeah, so I mean, mine's in line with Blake.
Or he falls off his horse. That's my other one.
Food poisoning.
Oh, of course.
Oh, well, yeah.
Got some bad
Intentional or just
chicken, you
like,
can't.
it's like salmonella.
He dies December 1st, 1135. And it doesn't say
We got salmonella.
specific.
Went down to the Hooters, had some bad chicken, and he just croaked away.
To ye old
To
Hooters.
ye old Hooters.
Ye old tatas.
Oh, I like the Halloween episode.
So Reading's not in the Premier League, but I guess a close and kind of where one of the teams came from. Brighton and Wolves. Kind of a significant game this week. Brighton on a little bit of a win streak. They've won 3 games in a row now. First time ever in the top flight, I believe.
Again, quietly, all of a sudden, just got good.
Right. And Wolves, on the other hand, have now dropped their last 2. So kind of on a downward scale. This is despite, though, Watford kind of dominated the game. They had 60% of the possession, 25
Wolves.
shots, 7
You said
on
Watford.
target. I'm sorry.
Wolves.
Wolves. Thank you. Get my W's all mixed
I know.
up. Wolves kind of dominated this game. 60% of the possession, 25 shots, 7 on target. They just could not sneak it past. And the Brighton keeper, Matthew Ryan, had himself a game.
Yeah, the game of his career.
Absolute game. And they have a... Brighton's just kind of sneakily there. Like, they're going to hang around, they're going to bug you, and they'll get these weird goals. Like, this goal wasn't particularly great, but it was a lovely kind of redirection shot from 57-year-old Glenn Murray, who just kind of side-footed it just lovely into the corner. And
It's a very sneaky
he's their
goal.
top scorer again this year.
Yeah, very sneaky goal, but he continues to find himself in the right position at the right time and requiring the least amount of effort, and he seems to score well.
And look at Bournemouth. Brighton Hove just got to stay up, man. Another year,
Yeah.
another collecting
true.
that Premier League money, put together a better team. And And again, this is a right now, as things have been, this is a good year for a club like Brighton to get a little bit of a streak going, even if it doesn't last but for so long, because, man, those teams at the bottom are so dire. I think it is going to help teams like Brighton that could have been in danger.
True. And they're all the way up to 11th at the current moment on 14 points, and Wolves are on 15. So, yeah, they just hang around and they stay above that red line all year. They'll be good. I think they're going to do that because you're right. There's a lot of teams below them that are looking a lot worse for wear. So,
and they're already 10 games played. They're 10 points above a relegation team. So they keep this up. They're going to be okay.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
And I love their stadium.
I love their fans. Is so great, man.
Oh, the Amex, just a fun team to watch. Ron, do you want to do it? You said that you knew this one.
No, I did my singing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like this is you, Ferris.
I don't get it. I really know this song. Do you know this song, Ron?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, would you? Because I.
All right, fine. That's going to be fun. All right. So, Brighton Hove and Albion versus the Wolves. The headline. Oh, where are the Wolves of Brighton?
Oh,
yeah. I don't know that
Werewolves
song.
of London.
Werewolves of London. Warren Zevon. Number 8 on the top 25 Billboard.
I mean,
top
I kind of butchered that.
Halloween song. No, that's I would have done the same. I had actually never heard this song. I had heard it, but when I saw the name, I was like, what song is this? And I had to go on the internet and play a little bit of it. And went, okay, that's. I was like, well, the Wolves. I mean, you have to throw the werewolves in there. You know, it has to be with the Wolves somewhere. So very nicely done, Ron. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
What's sitting in at number 2 there on the spookiest stadiums in the top flight of England?
All right, so the next one up, number 2, the Stadium of Light, Sunderland Athletic Football Club.
That's just scary because all they do is lose.
I know, they're just haunted by terrible seasons.
Years ago, staff members in the Stadium of Light spotted a dim shape in a stadium corridor. Shortly thereafter, Sunderland's then striker Stephen Elliott witnessed the same figure, causing a number of teammates to believe the venue was really haunted. The spirit haunting this venue is believed to be the stranded 18th century French soldier named Spotty, who would guide ships to crash into coastal rocks. What a sadistic jerk.
Yeah, what
Whoa.
an a-hole.
Whoa, that's
Spotty.
Was he smiling when he did it?
Spotty and the smiling man.
Yeah, Spotty, look out. What a jerk.
The smiling man distracts him. Spotty leads him into the coastal rocks.
Spotty's also like a good, creepy Halloween name because it's so unassuming.
Yeah.
Spotty.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be like little children's poems about him, like the movie Pumpkinhead.
Right?
Terrorizes the Stadium of Light?
Yep.
Man, they have a lot going on.
And he's doing a good job because they're terrible.
Yeah, they're not even good in the championship. They're still in the championship, aren't they?
No, didn't they get relegated? Didn't they go straight down out of Champions League?
Oh, Lord.
The championship? Right?
I think you're right.
Yeah, it was like, holy, they're going to get...
They just survived, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Look it up because I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Well, speaking of a team that always loses, Manchester United and Everton.
I don't know which team you're talking about.
True. True.
I was really shocked this game did not end in a draw. It just kind of felt like that kind of a game.
I wouldn't say that necessarily. I thought Man United pretty much, I don't want to say dominated, but they were in charge for bulk of the game. And Blake, yeah, I think you're right. I think Sunderland did go down to League 2 there.
Yeah, so rough.
Or is it League 3? I don't know. I thought they played fairly well. Some interesting changes here. No Lukaku in the starting lineup. He was dropped for Fred. I thought Fred had a good game. Lukaku just not confident. Hasn't scored in his last number of Premier League games. Mourinho was talking about it prior to going into this game. So kind of not a big surprise that he was dropped, but still a very strong lineup from United. Rashford played up front with Martial out to the left, and Mata kind of off to the right, but those three had their way of just changing it. And Mata more or less kind of sat in that number 10 role, and Martial and Rashford were kind of switched coming off the left and down the center. Definitely, I would say a penalty on the first goal. Pogba with his stupid, just takes his time, run up that walking, and God almighty.
Like you said, it's always a tale of two Pogbas, like at any moment. It's such a weird.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because I agree with you on that, because he was doing some showboating in midfield, and that's what led to the
Everton's first goal in the second half.
Yeah. And it's crazy. It's crazy to see how much talent is on that team for how mediocre they are currently in the table. Like
Pogba needs to do what he did in the World Cup.
Yeah, and just come out firing.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason. But what's interesting is to look at the subs on the bench.
Oh, from United? Yeah.
Lingard, Sanchez, Lukaku.
Herrera, too.
Yeah. 3 phenomenal on the front foot players. And they're on the bench.
Well, Sanchez, though, has not been playing great with him. So I don't know if I would.
Martial, who got the second goal and has, I think, 4 goals in 3 games right now, is playing in that Sanchez spot, that left wing position.
And he just fits
Martial
better.
Is playing better than Sanchez. So Sanchez kind of deserves to be
Sanchez.
I don't disagree, because we've talked about how much. We've talked many times about how Sanchez has yet to find his role at Manchester United. Why are we keeping him? Would be the question.
Well, that may not happen come January or the summer. I think
you hold on
when
to
you got
him.
I think when you got him in January last year, there was a lot of promise for him to come in, and the system probably just doesn't suit him that well. I think he probably lost a little bit of motivation. At that time was tired, because he had basically played every season full blast, and then every summer, whether it was the Copa, whether it was the World Cup, so on and so forth. Not the World Cup, but qualifying and the other tournament. Escapes me now, but he had pretty much played every summer. So by the time we got to this summer, he kind of had a break now, and expected him to come back kind of full force, and he hasn't really shown anything except for, what was it, the Newcastle game?
Yeah,
when he scored that very late goal. So I don't know if he's going to maybe can be used as a super sub, or if he works hard in training, can get back in the good graces of Mourinho, which has happened. Look at Luke Shaw. Look at Martial at the current moment. Both were kind of in the doghouse with Mourinho, and if Mourinho lasts the entire year, we just say Sanchez can't get back in that good
Sanchez just doesn't feel
form.
like he's in a doghouse. It just feels like he doesn't fit.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit more accurate.
And so if they feel like they could snag someone, maybe January, or more likely, it'd probably be the end of the year, because you're still in other tournaments, so you might as well hold on. I mean,
Yeah, there was something that came out today that we have about 120 some million to spend in January. Looking at Milivojevic from Lazio, he could possibly come in. But I mean, usually a lot of big moves aren't done in January. However, for United, sometimes they are. Nemanja Vidic came in January. Patrice Evra, I believe, came in January. Juan Mata came in January. So United does do some good business in January. I don't know if they'll be able to pull anything off this coming January. And also there's still a lot of talk that Mourinho may not see out the year. I think he will, but if he doesn't, then that can also change the plans of what the club decides to do in January. Nonetheless, though, Pogba stepped up for the penalty. It was actually a very poor penalty and a good save by Pickford, but the ball just bounced right back to Pogba, and he just calmly just side-footed it into the goal. So 1-0 United. And then coming out of the second half, 4 minutes after the half, Pogba set up Martial, who just wonderfully took a little touch around and just beautifully curled the ball around the defender and Pickford and placed it the only place
one of the better
he could.
goals of the weekend.
Oh, yeah, just an absolute beautiful strike. Wonderful curl, wonderful pace, just could not have been hit and placed any better. And it was 2-0, and he thought, okay, here, United just needs to see it out. And then, Ron, kind of what you were talking about, Pogba just getting a little cute in midfield there. We're up 2-0. You don't need to get cute. Just play safe. Try to get another goal. If not, don't try to concede, because then it gets Everton back in the game. Well, got a little cute. Ball got turned back on kind of a fast counter, and Smalling lazily and bad tackle, 100% a penalty.
Yeah.
Took down, I think it was Czech Tosin who just came into the game. And Sigurdsson stepped up and smashed home a penalty. And United were able to, this week, see it out to a 2-1 win and 3 points, unlike what they were able to do last week against Chelsea, where they had that late goal against them in like the 95th. It tied it up 2-2. So,
Yep.
Not the prettiest of games, but I thought United, for the most part, with the exception of probably the last 15 minutes, United were the favorites in this game and were rightly up 2-0. Let's continue this.
Speaking of not the prettiest, you got to sing your
very true.
Your song.
I don't even know. And Mourinho would be calling, "Let's do the 3 points again. Let's do the 3 points again."
Oh my goodness. And that song is
Let's Do the Time Warp again. Rocky Horror Picture Show, if you don't know that. Time Warp, number 11 on the top 25 Halloween songs, according to Billboard.com.
These are great.
Let's do the 3 points again. So I did there. We finally got back into 3 points. Okay, anyways.
Oh, now question. We only have one spooky place left, right?
And we have one more game left.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So one more spooky, then game, or game, then spooky?
It's a spooky, right? We've done stadium and then the game. Yeah.
Okay. Spooky Times with Ron Keller, a new podcast coming this fall.
All right. So
We're idiots.
it's another Premier League stadium. Does anyone have a guess?
Ooh, let's see. No, well, it needs to be an old one.
I would go White Hart Lane. That's now not there.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. Gosh, of all the new field, it's Premier League now. We'll go.
I didn't say that, but I'm just.
Oh, but it was been a Premier League in the past.
It's been a Premier League.
Oh.
It might be now. It might not.
Oh, well.
I can't tell you that.
What did you say? You went Whitehall?
White Hart Lane, yeah.
Or Whitehall. That's the
Which?
Henry VIII.
Henry
right?
VIII.
Yeah. I'll go Man U Stadium.
Ooh.
Old Trafford?
Old Trafford, man.
Old Trafford doesn't have any haunts to it. It's a classy.
I don't know.
Ron's going to say it's Old Trafford.
It's the ghost of
Ghost of Sir Alex Ferguson.
no, not Ferguson.
It's the ghost of the guy who left the training bomb in there.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember that from a few years back. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
They had to stop. That was the last day of the season.
As we said, the guy sitting at home going, Margaret, I might be out of a job. Watching the news that morning. I think I forgot something.
I left one of the training aids.
Give me the classifieds.
All right. You are both wrong. It is St. Mary's Stadium.
Oh, down south.
Southampton.
Yeah.
Southampton moved to St. Mary's.
I think they called St. Mary is probably going to be haunted, right?
Right. Southampton moved to St. Mary's in 2001, a stadium which was built for just £32 million. They moved from the Dell after 103 years. That's pretty crazy. That's a long time to be at a stadium, 103 years. This St. Mary's more than doubles their occupancy or their capacity from 15 to 32,500. The stadium is built on a site that used to be a graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it
You
all
moved the
starts.
headstones, but you didn't move the graves.
I now know what that's from.
It's said that the spirits of the people buried there were haunting the stadium when the Saints moved in during the 2001-2002 season. A terrible start to the season saw relegation looking certain as they picked up just 10 points from their first 14 matches. That cost manager Stuart Gray his job after barely 6 months in charge. Rumors spread that the spirits were taking their revenge for the excavation of pre-Christian tombs at the place where the stadium was built. The belief grew so strong that Southampton called in an actual pagan white witch to rid the evil from the ground.
Yes! I just became a Southampton fan because that's cool. That's a pagan white witch.
Yep.
Oh, man. In my head, it's a bald dude with a beard that's 4 foot long and white and robes and like,
And he's smudging the place.
yeah. Oh man, that's awesome.
That's great.
Boo. Ooh, that's good.
That's fun.
And this carries us to our last match, which we just watched today. The biggest match of the weekend, I would say, as far as the two clubs who were playing, with Tottenham playing at home, against Man City.
What? Wait, weren't they playing at the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium?
That's exactly what they were
the
playing.
Jacksonville Jaguars' new London stadium. Yes, if you did not see today,
Harry Kane had a 1st and 10 at one point. I saw it.
As someone put, it looked like MLS 1.0 out there.
Yeah.
As these two big teams with a major clash are playing in Wembley, who just hosted the Jags in Miami. Is that I can't remember who it was. I forget who the Jags played. Jags and Jets or
Eagles.
Eagles. Okay. The Jags and then the Eagles from the NFL for a game over the weekend, and the pitch looked awful during the NFL game. It looked worse during this game, but as someone else pointed out, hey, tough noogies, Spurs. You were supposed to be in your new stadium on September 15th anyway.
Yeah, and you could tell that they tried to get rid of all the white markings on the field. You know, the NFL logo was like loosely scrubbed off the 50-yard line.
Just bad.
It was just so weird to see Tottenham and Man City waiting for kickoff on the NFL emblem. It was so weird.
Yeah, very weird.
I love though that the camera angle was it opposite, so the NFL was upside down as opposed to
I
the
didn't
other
think
way?
so.
I can't
I thought
remember.
it was right.
It just was weird. Yeah, it just was.
And the match was the same. The match was as kind of
That was
as the
disappointing.
pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it started off on fire. That first goal from Aguero. From Mahrez, from an assist from former Liverpool player Raheem Sterling. Great goal, and I thought it was going to be a really exciting game, even if it was one of those like 3-0 Man City games. But it just kind of
And the only
air out of the tire after that.
Yeah, the only really good chance for Tottenham came after
Harry Kane's distance strike.
No, I was going to say Lamella's put it over the bar.
Yeah.
After Dele Alli, very smart, bright heads-up play, puts it right into the path of Lamella, and everybody kind of blamed the stadium ground for the ball bouncing.
Hey.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, but he
should hit that.
It was a clear open shot to the net. The keeper was nowhere around, and he just skied it. And that was pretty much the story of Tottenham's day. There was not a whole lot exciting about this match, to be honest.
There certainly was not. But I mean, City, what just an array of talent they have. I mean, the first sub of the day was Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah,
isn't that scary? And I think they brought on Gabriel Jesus, and they also brought in the captain of the club, big lad, Belgium. Oh Lord, I can't remember his name. Defender. Anyways, he's the captain of the club. He's been one of their talisman, but hasn't been able to get in because
Company?
Laporte. Yes, thank you.
Company. There you go.
Yeah, because Laporte and Stones have been playing so well. Just so much talent, and despite the field, despite playing away, City just continue to play a very strong, smart, fun style of ball, and put the ball in the back of the net. And they also haven't conceded. They haven't conceded in quite a while, which means their defense is now really shored up. So if you could get a goal against them, you're going to do fairly well. I think the last time they conceded was the time that they drew. Was it 1-1 against Cardiff, or it wasn't Cardiff? It was somebody along those lines. So, and if you're Tottenham, I don't think this is a bad loss. If you're Tottenham, you had Ali and Eriksson on the bench. They had to come in as subs, so you didn't have them to start. You still have some talent. I think they're having to struggle this year. They're having to struggle because they didn't have any new blood come into the club at all in the summer. They're not doing that well in Champions League. Their stadium they're supposed to be in September is now pushed to next season. So they're having to kind of move fixtures around.
Very late, call. September 15th.
It had gotten pushed back until the end of the calendar year, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then now get pushed back to the season. So yeah, it's not really going Tottenham's way. With that said, though, I mean, Blake, what was the stat? They're still off to the best start they ever had in the Premier League or something to that extent?
After however many matches we were at this point, at 9 matches today, this was their best start. In 9 matches, 21 points. this was their best start.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not all doom and gloom for Tottenham, but they just kind of have to get through.
Again,
this.
we said this about last season. Again, Tottenham has a great team, great start. This happened to Man United too. One of their best starts ever last year. Didn't matter. No one could catch up to Man City.
Right.
Tottenham looks to be the same situation. I think it's all going to come down to like the exciting thing will be whether Arsenal or Tottenham end on top of each other. That's what they'll be playing for at the end. Of the,
and if
end of
both
the
are
run.
in the top 4 come the end of the year, because while they're in the top 4 right now, or I'm sorry, well, Arsenal's in the top 4 and Chelsea's sitting behind them on 5th. There's only 10 games. Why Arsenal's in 4th and Tottenham's sitting behind them in 5th.
Okay.
There's only 10 games played, so still a long year. But I think that battle between those two to see if they can stay in the top 4, get in the top 4, will be kind of key throughout the.
Because we know Chelsea's fine because they got the smiling man hanging out with them.
Yeah, no, everything's happy and fine there.
So creepy.
That is the creepiest
I love that you were
one.
like, I'll do a happy one, but that is the creepiest one of the whole.
Hey, that
bunch.
woman won a car.
Well, we don't know what
Yeah,
happened
it's
after.
probably in a ditch right now. Like,
We don't know what happened after. So this is about to move us on out of Premier League, right?
after the headline song.
Oh, I don't get this one.
I get it. I just don't want to sing it.
I always feel like somebody's watching MC.
Oh gosh,
Banana.
I had to.
I always feel like somebody's watching me. But instead of me, MC, Man City.
Thank you for the explanation.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I always feel like somebody's watching me by Rockwell, number 7 on the top 25.
I hate that I didn't get it. I just didn't get it reading it, and then you're like, oh,
Banana.
you freaking head bob. Oh my god. Oh jeez. Okay, so man, those have just been gold, and they're going to keep coming.
Yeah.
As we work down the top 25 of Halloween hits.
WQQY.
But first,
Radio Watford.
a word about another beer. Well, another brewed beverage. Since the first one was a mead, now we're going to move on to something different, gentlemen.
Excellent.
Ron, if you want a glass, I believe you have one.
I does.
This, we don't need to talk about the brewery very much. This is a favorite brewery that pops up a lot, but this is one of theirs been wanting to do all year long. Here we go, gentlemen.
Ooh.
I'm excited.
Whoa.
From Tampa Bay Brewing Company.
Oh, yes.
We've got Gourds Gone Wild from Tampa Bay Brewing Company.
That's 2, Ferris.
all right.
Thank you.
I saw this one just the other day. I was hanging out in South Florida with some college friends, and they had picked up a 4-pack of mixed Tampa Bay Brewing stuff, and this was one of the ones in there. I saw it. I was like, I don't think I've had this one yet, so I'm very excited to have this.
Yep, so Gourds Gone Wild. This was originally brewed in collaboration with Southern Brewing and Winemaking. This pumpkin ale has since become our highly anticipated award-winning fall seasonal. With a brown ale as its backbone, this deep copper beer has all the aromas of the season. Pumpkin pie, vanilla, graham cracker, and nutmeg with tastes of creamy sweetness and spice. ABV's 5.9% alcohol, and it's available during the fall season from Tampa Bay Brewing Company. If you ever get a chance to go down to Florida, go head out and see those guys.
Yes.
Because not only their beer's good, but so is their food.
And they actually said a long time ago, and we've not taken up
we
on
did
this,
maybe
that
do a show
that
from
we can
there.
do a show from there and a pod from there. So when we get the ability to do on-site live things, then yeah.
And this is in a can, which I believe is different from the previous years. It used to be in a bottle. It had a different...
I think you're right.
Yeah, so this is their first go around in the cans. Like it. It's a little... I know Ron, you the pumpkin beer 2 episodes ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Warlock.
Warlock. Here we go, gents. Ooh, smells good. Man, I love Tampa Bay Brewing Company.
Man, that smells fantastic.
So,
It's
you
a
know
mix
how-
of Halloween, fall, and winter.
You know how we always tap the can a few times before opening it? Does
Even
that really do anything?
No,
That's what I was about to-
It
yeah.
does not. Scientifically speaking, it absolutely does not. It wouldn't keep your beer from exploding or not, but I don't know. We all still do it. I just saw one of those things like, how does this work? Or like an NPR weird quick bit of info that talked about that.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it would do anything.
But it seems wrong not doing it.
Shall we?
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Nice
Can't wait.
golden brown ale there, kind of.
Cilantro.
All right, cheers, gents.
Slanjava.
Happy Halloween. Whoa.
Ooh, a little sweeter
Huh.
than I expected.
Yeah, that.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just
Is that a hint of candy corn in there?
Well, hold on. I'm going to read again.
wow, good. That's a good description. It does. It kind of has a candy corn feel.
It says aromas of the season. This beer has all the aromas of the season: pumpkin pie, vanilla, definitely taste that, graham cracker, and nutmeg. So yeah, and a creamy sweetness and spice. Yeah, you are kind of right. It does kind of have that vibe to it. Man, that's good.
Wow.
This is way sweeter than I anticipated, but I don't let that turn you off. It's not syrupy.
No, it's still got a very clean mouthfeel.
No, it's like the way a pumpkin pie is like a chocolate, like silk pie. That's super sweet. Pumpkin pie, yes, it has sugar, it's sweet, but the fruit or whatever of the pumpkin itself kind of counteracts that.
Yeah.
It's the same vibe. That's good.
This is a good choice.
Very delightful.
Oh man, that's a good one. Another fine one from Tampa Bay Brewing Company. All right, moving on to the other big game of the week over in Europe, the El Classico.
Dun, dun, dun.
This game was a big deal because it cost a coach his job.
Today, yeah.
Yep.
Lopetegui got sacked. It's also a big deal because it's the first time in a while that there was a Classico without a Messi or a Ronaldo in the side.
Is it still a Classico if that's the case?
Yes, it is still a Classico. It was there long before they were there, and it will continue. It is what is football's biggest game.
And that was Barcelona at home against Real Madrid, and woof.
Boy,
Man, ex-Liverpool Pudlian destroyed Real Madrid. Barcelona destroys Real Madrid 5-1 with Philip Coutinho scoring one and Suarez getting a hat trick. And Vidal also gets one in the 87th. 5-1. Ooh,
spanking.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Absolutely. A Luis Suarez hat trick, Philip Coutinho goal in there, and a Vidal goal. Just absolute smacking. I mean,
I was just looking at your headline and I was trying to figure it out. That's all. Sorry.
You would probably because your poem was in line with this, so it'd probably be something that you should.
Because this is Barca night, and no one's gonna save Real from the Fords and the strikes. You know it's Barca.
Very well done.
Amazing.
Very well done.
Oh, that's
Good job.
Oh man, we're only gonna do 4 episodes a year now. They're all holidays.
All holidays. That's it.
I can't wait till the St. Patrick's Day
We'll
one.
do St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. I don't think we've done a St. Patrick's Day one yet. Yeah. No, but I mean, Real could not be saved from the forwards and just the strikes from what Barca had to offer. Even though they didn't have Messi, they smacked them all around. And the second half, Madrid came out a little bit more oomph, and like they wanted to get back in the game and wanted to win. Marcelo got one in the 50th, so a lot of time left for them to get a draw out of it. But Barca just too much on the counter, just too much on the possession, and just ran over Madrid. And once that second goal went in and once that third goal went in and put Barca up by 2 more, it just fell apart, and it was all downhill for Madrid. And like we said, it cost as of today, Real Madrid's looking for a new manager.
Who's it going to be?
Gone. A lot of talk right now that it could be Chelsea's former coach, Antonio Conte.
He'd be good over there.
Yeah, I can see that.
Unfortunately, Courtois is not too happy about that. He came out midweek last week and kind of had some comments that were along the lines of one of the reasons I left Chelsea was to get away from the situation, which was he was basically referring to
Conte.
I thought that guy was in the Jersey Shore.
So, well, he's now in jail, right? And we talk about that. He's the income tax invasion or something to that. That man had a job? Oh, my God. Anyways, so, yeah, first Classico of the season kind of went the way everybody thought it was going to go, and kind of went the way that they thought it was going to go in terms of will Real hang on to their manager following this. Listen, you don't score a goal for a long time in La Liga. You really haven't played that great. You got a few wins here and there, but you've drawn more and lost more than Real should at this stage of the season, especially against who they've been playing. And you get not only beat in El Clasico, but you get smacked. Yeah, you're probably not going to have a job. It's tough, though. I kind of feel for Lopetegui and Real Madrid fans because although they don't really go for, they don't really have transition years, this is the first time that Madrid haven't had Zidane or Ronaldo in quite some time.
Yeah.
So it is a complete change. And you take those pieces out, and it's different.
Extremely different.
Did you, by the way, I know I already sang the song, but did you say where that fell in the...
Oh, I did not. Good
That
call.
was
That was
Thriller.
actually, surprise, surprise, number one on the top 25, Michael Jackson.
I'm not
And
surprised.
just if you haven't seen like the official music video, it's like 13 minutes or whatever.
It's directed
well
by
worth it.
John
Well worth
Landis,
it. Oh,
the
yeah,
guy
it's
that
great.
did American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
And
You forget. You almost kind of forget. You don't forget, but like how talented Michael Jackson was, and
You know,
and the makeup effects.
the makeup
in that
effects in
thing.
that
you know
is
the real
fantastic.
reason that song's number one?
Why is that?
Vincent Price narration in the top.
I love.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's actually toward the end, or it's split. It's split. In my head, though, I always thought it was at the end, but it's not. When you listen to the full thing, it's
Right.
like it's like split. I remember having these spooky sounds of Halloween with like, but the only song on it was Thriller. And as a kid, I always thought Vincent Price's monologue was so creepy. Yeah.
Well done, though, Blake.
Thank you. I love that I was reading it. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't get this.
But then as soon as I said the poem,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Man, this pumpkin beer is awesome.
Delightful.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
tasty.
really good. And now we're into the MLS hunt for the playoffs. Actually, that hunt's over.
Yep.
The hunt is now over. Yes, you're right.
And
That's 4.
Well, I mean, the time these games were played, it was still the hunt for the playoff. We're
Sure,
just kind of recapping the games.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't. The MLS all over the TV and radio called this MLS Decision Day.
Decision Day.
Yeah, that's kind of like their.
I've heard stuff used like that before for like.
Can I just say it's dumb?
Oh, you can, yeah. I mean,
You just did.
You just did.
It's, they make it sound like the.
They're trying to turn it into like the last day of the Premier League is, or what the selection show for the
makes me think
NCAA
of the
tournament
NCAA
is.
tournament,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're trying to do something like that. And
Yeah.
they're trying to I get why they do it, and it makes sense because just like the Premier League, you want to play all of the games. I think the NFL may even do this. You want to play all of your games at the same time on the last day. That way, teams aren't having an advantage by knowing what scores to the other games are. I mean, nowadays, somebody on the sideline could have an iPad or a
but you're
watch or
what
phone
you've
or
decided
anything.
to
And-
do. You've already decided to do.
Right, you've already decided to do it. So I get why they do it, but yeah, I mean, it's not the most creative thing in the world.
Yeah,
and
branded is something better than Decision Day because it makes it sound like I need to get out and vote. It does not sound like a whole bunch of people fighting for their lives in the playoffs.
right.
Yeah, playoff hunt just sounds cooler.
Yeah,
I get the idea of being the
MLS Decision Day.
the final one.
It's so weird. It was like we were voting for the president, and we had of U.S. soccer, and had to redo the vote 7
Decision
times.
Day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like it's just so weird that they call it Decision Day.
Forget Decision Day. It was MLS. Everyone who should have done great done screwed up.
For the most part, yeah.
Like-
Absolutely.
Everybody blew it.
Yeah, everybody tried to get out of the playoffs.
They blew it. It was just, I mean, from literally the top down.
We start right there with the Galaxy.
Yeah.
The Galaxy had a chance. All they needed
that
to
might
do
be from the bottom up.
That's true.
Yeah.
All they needed to do was win. That's it.
they
Real
were.
Salt Lake were already done because remember they had played that mysterious 34th game that we couldn't figure out what it was. Like they already have a game,
It was against the Crypt
but all LA had to do was win.
And against the Houston side that was limping along at best.
And they were
what-
up 2-0.
Right. But what did I say earlier? Like Houston aren't that bad. They ended the season on a 0 goal difference. That is some of the best between both sides of the table on teams that did not make it into the playoffs. So if they weren't careful, and they weren't in this game, they were up 2-0 within 30 minutes because of 2 Oli Kamara goals. The second half, it was all Dynamo. And LA was playing at home.
Yeah.
There should be no reason for that.
Freaking Zlatan refused to meet with the press afterwards.
That's how mad he was.
He was so mad. They were sending him balls so late. It was he was just having fits in the stadium. I need the ball earlier. I need the ball earlier. He couldn't get open for anything. His teammates were lagging behind.
Well, and Houston did a good job of containing him. They did a good job of containing him and containing the service that he would get.
I think the latter is more accurate. I don't think they contained him that well. They contained his lifeline better than they contained him.
Right, but there's only a few people that are going to get him the ball, a lot. Allison Dradrini, Kamara. There's only a few that can service him the way. That sounds really bad, but you know what I mean. And if you cut off that lifeline there, Ron, you're
Yes,
right.
I agree.
He's not going to have the chance to score and to punish you. But the Galaxy, we've talked about it before on the pod. Defense is horrible. You have to do a more professional job here and realize that when you're 2-0 up going into the half, that all you have to do is win and you're in the playoffs. Don't worry about trying to score more goals. Don't worry about trying to play a style that is free and try to get Zlatan the ball at that point. Pack it in, play smart, play defensive, and get out of there with the win.
Right.
And you move on to the playoffs. That's how a professional side does it. They didn't do that, and they allowed Houston back into the game.
Do you think that that's a coaching issue, or do you think that's a player's issue?
I think in this squad, it's a little bit of both.
Well, the Galaxy has been edging on the side of the playoffs because they couldn't just put a team together that was consistent the whole run anyway.
And they have a very poor back line. They have a very, very poor back line.
But to blow a 2-0 lead that's huge.
At home. It's not like they were on the road. And,
which was a crazy day, right?
And to a team that wasn't like a Sporting KC or a Sounders or an LAFC. To a Dynamo team who, yes, they ended the year on a 0 goal difference, but they're still not making the playoffs. And they missed it by almost 10 points. By 11 points. So you should have finished this. And again, all you need to do was win. You weren't relying on anything else but yourselves here. And they blew it.
It was a crazy day in LA too, because it was the LA Galaxy at home, the LA Dodgers in the World Series at home, the Lakers, I believe.
Yes, they were at home.
Had a game, and then also
Kings at
the Los Angeles Rams.
And Kings had a game
It was
too.
a sports buffet.
Crazy day in LA. I mean, I can't even imagine what that traffic was like, and it's already bad.
Ugh.
It's almost as bad as Orlando.
It's just, it's sad because and I'm sure the league is not happy with this either. You can't be the Don Garber sitting there and be like, oh, we're happy LA to make it in. That would be bull. Because you want one of your biggest market teams and that have one of the biggest players in the world, not only figuratively, but literally one of the biggest players in the world. You want him on showcase in the playoffs.
Yep.
What do you want?
Zlatan, baby.
Oh, that's not what I was going for. I was trying to intro your song because it made me laugh.
Stand by.
Your headline song.
Yep. I had to look down and I forgot which one I did for this. When there's something strange in the match ahead, who you gonna call? Houston Busters.
When the smiling man sleeping in your bed.
Who are you gonna call? Houston Busters. Yeah, that was Ghostbusters, obviously.
Ray Parker Jr.
Ray Parker Jr., yes, Ron. Yeah. And
Number 2?
Number 4.
Oh,
Number
wow.
4.
I would have guessed that was 2.
Yep, number 4 on the list.
Still can't believe they screwed that up.
3 unanswered goals. I think I texted you guys because I was driving, listening to the match, and I texted you and I was like, man, LA just let 3 unanswered through.
Very, very poor in the second half and just...
So that moves us on to the Columbus Crew SC versus Minnesota. What?
Are officially saved now, right?
Saved.
Okay.
So
officially.
cool. So
Okay.
Officially saved. Columbus Crew 3, Minnesota United 2. And I think all of us saw the Columbus Crew winning this match.
Well, this was one of the people that had their fate in their hand and
Correct.
sealed it. Carried through.
Correct. And they needed to win. I don't think I think a draw would have got them through had Montreal lost. Montreal in the end did lose, but if they would have won and there was a draw, then Montreal would have skipped ahead. But Yeah, Columbus Crew had it in their hands. They were at home, and they did what LA didn't do. They saw the game out.
Yep.
Plain and simple. They let Minnesota get back into it, but they kept pushing. And at home, again, what LA should have done, they pushed and they got a goal in the 83rd that got them that win and secured them in the playoffs. They didn't know it at the time, but a draw would have still got them in. But nonetheless, Columbus has been solid all year. They've been in that 5-4-3-6 range. They stay there, they make the playoffs, and they get in. That's big for them because home field for them at any point, if they get, I don't even know if they're going to have a home field at a stage, but you saw what they did last year. If you remember the first round last year, they knocked out who? Yeah. Atlanta.
Well, and because of goal differential, DC United is going to be set up for a home field playoff game.
Yes, they are. And what's weird is we were talking a few weeks back that they would not even get into the playoff, or they would sneak in, with the win. Well, they're all the way up at what? Fourth, yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they did sneak in. It's only a 3-point difference between them and Philly.
That's still a win.
So,
yeah.
Sure, but the goal differential is +10 they have, and -2 for Columbus, -1 for Philly.
Yeah. Right.
And when it was that tight, oof.
And the other thing that Columbus relied on for a majority of the year and definitely paid dividends in this game is Zashi Zardes got a hat trick in this game. He got brought in, if you remember, in the summer, or not the summer, but the winter transfer time for them. And he's been just a strike force for them all year long and gets them into the playoffs via a hat trick. So very well done from him and the Crew.
I super don't get this one when I'm reading it. Do you get it, Ron?
He explained it, but I still not.
Yeah, I have
still not with it
for your song headline.
Do the best I can. In your net, Zardes. What's in your net? Zardes.
I don't know it.
Oh, it's
the Cranberries.
It's Cranberries,
zombies.
yeah. I'm butchering the hell out of that. Zombies, but it's Zardes. Yeah, it's a very bad. And of course, I can't sing to save my life, so I apologize to everybody out there that is listening to this on the way to work or at work.
So that was the Cranberries. Where did that fall on the list?
Oh, the Cranberries. Zombie. I believe that fell.
You and your 90s music.
Zardes.
I kept reading. I was like, I don't know what any of that is. Especially like the way he wrote it is Zardes.
Yeah.
Because that's like, if you were to spell it out, that's how it is. I'm trying to find it. Stand by. I know it was on
Yeah,
here.
because she goes like, zombie,
yeah. That's hysterical.
The Cranberries. Where did that come in at?
Your top 25? 24?
No. Number 18, Zombie, the Cranberries, yeah.
Interesting.
Speaking of zombies,
Zardes.
that rolls us to the next match. Toronto FC at home against Atlanta United. Toronto playing like they're trying to get into the playoffs.
A little too late, though.
Atlanta United playing like they don't really care about the supporter shield, which they had. Like that was theirs to have.
Yeah.
And
they needed to win. That's it.
They
shit the bed.
They were awful.
So do you think any of that has to do with the announcement that Tata's not coming back?
I tell you what, we talked about it last pod. Timing is very
They
curious
lose this
on
match
this.
and they get knocked out of the playoffs. That's all anyone will talk about.
Very curious, yeah.
And I know they said that
it's only one match and it doesn't really matter. And I mean, in the end.
No, I know that, but they said
no. But your morale going into the playoffs—that's huge.
And actually, had they won, they would have broken and set the new record for points in a single season.
Yeah,
on 72, it was set by somebody else. I mean, it wasn't them. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, and also, so what you have here is
failure to communicate.
The failure to communicate. Like them doing this after they had made the announcement of their manager will leave after this year or this season. They said they made that announcement because there was so much speculation they just wanted to end it. I don't think the speculation was that insane to warrant that call, as opposed to just keep saying like, hey, right now we just want to focus on this year. It's a BS like PR line, but it happens all the time with coaches. Hey, you going to stick around this year? You know, you said you were going to retire a couple of years ago in 2 years. Hey, I'm just playing through this season, and they just push on. They lose this game like this, and they get knocked out of playoffs. All they'll talk about is that we got screwed by making that announcement.
Right.
Do they think, because right now people keep saying too, like, he's gone and their best players are gone. Like, they're saying it like it's a foregone conclusion.
And they don't have the easiest of matchups in the next round. They get a bye in the first round, but they could either play DC or Columbus. Columbus knocked them out last year.
Rooney.
DC beat them earlier in the year with Rooney. So this doesn't set up, you don't roll in with any sort of confidence right here if you're Atlanta, which is a shame because they've had a fantastic year.
Yeah.
A fantastic year. And Joseph Martinez ended on like 31 goals or something.
And then you say, well,
that?
what was the difference? Well, the only thing that's factor that's changed is the announcement about Tata.
Right. And I agree with you. That's one of those that you can just PR your way through it until the end of the season. And you don't need to come out and because it's not really detrimental to anything else if you kind of fib or you kind of just not tell the full truth or however you want to put it, PR it. To the end of the year, because what negatively more would it impact than the morale of your team?
And they just looked awful,
right?
And again, Toronto looked like they were trying to get into playoffs, even though that was impossible.
And Toronto, and in all fairness, Toronto probably saw, hey, we have a chance to keep Atlanta from winning and setting the most points in a single season on our home field. I think they even put out a tweet that was something like, not at our home or something like, so they while they weren't in the playoffs and were nowhere near it, they had something to fight for in this game and they clearly wanted it more than Atlanta wanted to be number one of the East and win the Supporter Shield.
That was the most shocking game of me, the whole
I
thing.
agree.
That was just what? When I was sitting there at work and flipped open my phone to the terrible MLS app. I missed the old thing. It was so much easier to navigate.
Crazy because the old MLS app was terrible.
But like when you're scrolling through this one and you flip fast to go through the scores, you can accidentally scroll into the week before. It's just a weird
I do like how the tables are set up on the app.
Yes, the tables are fine.
That's
but you know what I'm talking about when you're looking at the scores.
Yeah, no,
congratulations, you improved one thing and destroyed everything else.
Sardes.
I'm terrible at these. I don't get your headline for this one either.
I think I get the first part, but I don't get the last.
I think
after the ellipsis.
I think I'm wrong because the first part I'm like, it can't be the song I was thinking because where it goes. So Ferris, you got to do another one.
I don't.
You got.
I don't know if I can. I need to hear this song because when I wrote them, I was listening. I can listen to the song and then, but I don't know if I know the. Hold on, I don't have the sound on.
Your consternation is amazing right now.
TFC gonna get you. Toronto gonna get you. Hell's bells.
The AC/DC?
Okay. Yeah, AC/DC. Yeah.
Oh.
I couldn't do it.
What I was thinking.
I thought is this Gloria Stefan? Like
no,
rhythm is gonna get you.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, it was hard because
I was like, Tipsy's gonna get you. I was like, what? Why would that be?
Why is that Halloween? Right.
There's a lead up to one of the Hell's Bells parts that is something about somebody's gonna get you.
And I should have saw the Hell's Bell and thought of the AC/DC tune.
Yeah.
But I saw Hell's Bell and trying to go, she doesn't say that, does she? Is that something Ferris put in? I'm so confused. Why is Gloria Estefan on this?
That's what I was wondering.
I wouldn't believe me. I would have loved. I feel like I know Gloria Stefan better than I do than I do AC/DC. I'm sorry to say that, everybody out there, but no, it's hold on, I'm gonna find the what the Hell's Bells AC/DC line actually is, which they came in at number 20 on the top 25 list, and it was
that's a hard one to sing anyway.
Hell's Bells, right? You have to go real high.
Yeah. I can't believe I read this and thought it was glorious.
Oh, I'm gonna get you, Satan, get you, and then it goes Hell's Bells.
Right, the family
Right,
song.
I got my bell. I'm gonna take you to hell. I'm gonna get you, Satan, get you, Hell's Bells. Yeah,
You didn't have to play their records backwards. It was right there.
You're right.
Right. Yeah. So not my best one here.
It's
That's all right.
okay. It's okay.
And Atlanta United FC's not the best one here either for them.
No. Somehow we get Orlando City again in an important match. New York Red Bulls at home against Orlando City, and they win 1-0, which is, I think, a respectable loss for Orlando City against the best team in the East, I guess.
Sure, why not?
It's the best thing I can say for Orlando.
On a minus 31 to end the year. That had to set something. I'm sure that set something.
That
like
had to
worst
set a
goal
record.
difference. Or, they outdid everybody in the league by a good 4 goals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I know Atlanta hates that. If Orlando could have broken the goal differential, the worst goal differential record, and they had gotten most points, they'd love that.
Yeah.
What a boring game.
Yeah, I mean, Red Bulls did what they, I guess, needed to do, and they got the win, and they are now the new. Yep, they got the supporter shield, and they set the record for most points in a season in the MLS on 71. They ended the year plus 29 goal difference, which was the best out of both leagues, or I'm sorry, both conferences, and ended on 71 points. So 2 points above Atlanta United. They had a fantastic year, kind of a quiet, fantastic year.
People didn't talk. Everybody was talking about Atlanta and NYCFC.
Yeah,
not as much the Red Bulls.
Right. And you know what I saw that I thought was interesting, and I didn't watch a whole lot of New York Red Bull games this year, except for when they played us or they were on ESPN or Fox or whatnot. But do you remember they have 3 of our players, and I think they played a part in this season. Tommy Redding.
Yeah.
Rocket
Rivas,
and Aurelio Collins.
Oh,
and yes,
yeah.
they have Tyler Adams, and they have Bradley Wright Phillips, and they have some players that did had more of an impact in the team than probably those did. But nonetheless, that kind of shows a little bit of players in different systems and under different management sometimes. We'll do a little bit better because and I'm not mistaken, Rivas came in as a sub a lot and had an impact by just being a threat, not necessarily on his goal scorer. I think it was real early in the season he had a couple of goals, and I don't know, Eric, I think it is on Twitter, hit us up and tell us kind of how those 3 did. But the Red Bulls were consistent all year in what is a grind, and they know it more so than probably any of the teams in the league, that the MLS season is a complete grind. They were consistent. They grinded it out, and they ended up top and with the most points ever in the MLS.
Well, I was going to ask you how you think they're going to roll, but we're going to get to our little playoffs bracket here in just a second. You got one last song.
Somebody else do this. I've been butchered by the last 2.
Right. I had to say it in my head again. Okay.
Thank you.
Don't go for a win tonight. Well, it's bound to not go right. There's a Red Bull on the rise. Not a bathroom on the right, as Ron thought.
Yes, correct. You should have, because you're an actual, you actually can sing.
But I have to know what the song is. That's always
true.
Yeah.
Clearwater or
Creedence Clearwater
Revival, and they ended.
My favorite bands.
They
when I first learned guitar, we learned their library. My guitar.
They were number 17 on the list with Bad Moon Rising.
So what were 2 and 3?
2 and 3.
Go over the top 5.
Yeah, so first was Thriller.
Okay, first was Thriller.
Fourth was Ghostbusters. I know that, right?
Fourth was Ghostbusters. Third was Monster Mash. Fifth was The Monster, Eminem and Rihanna.
What was 2?
Oh.
And number 2 was Demons, Imagine Dragons.
Oh, that's a fairly new song, though, right? To be number 2.
Wow. Interesting.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. This Is Halloween was number 6 by Danny Elfman.
This is Halloween.
We went over
why
number
don't they
7,
have Tim
number 8.
Curry's like with that weird Halloween thing everybody always shares every year when he's like Halloween?
Oh, yeah.
And he's got like the cape with the chroma key and like
Yeah,
yeah.
Don't
Your brother might turn into a bat. like so might turn into a cat. Anything can happen on Halloween.
Sean Connery or is that?
It's so weird. God, it's weird. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, man. And every time someone shares for Halloween, I go, man, this thing, and I hit play, and I go, jeez. And then
Can't
I
believe I'm
watch
watching
the
this again,
whole
yeah.
thing all over again. Because you just can't imagine. There are things that you go, oh, they thought that was cool in the 80s or whatever. That was never cool, and I don't know.
At any point. Yeah.
What? It's so bad.
Still bad now.
And he's just there alone in front of a green screen, flipping the cape around. I mean, but it's still somehow cool because it's Tim Curry. Like that has that edge of cool on it.
And Tim Curry in Legend from that movie with Tom Cruise. And,
Oh yeah, when he's like the creature, the big
he was the
Satan
devil.
looking thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
if I saw that one.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
movie.
dude,
was that?
good flick. You just said it. What's it called?
Legend.
Legend. Yeah.
I don't know if I ever saw that.
Yep. It's like Lord of the Rings, like Willow style.
On the hunt
like,
for unicorns.
Yep, and the
Clue.
soundtrack is from Tangerine Dream, but there's two soundtracks. One in Europe had a classical score that fits like fantasy movies, but the American release is Tangerine Dream, so it's all 80s. Synth.
Yeah, it's so.
And I gotta be honest, I don't know which one is better, like because the theatrical score is better in the sense of it fits it better, but the Tangerine Dream is just so delightfully 80s. And there's Tim Curry being the devil. Oh, young Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and he
Really,
looks,
Scott directed it too.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
he was phenomenal as the devil in that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ferris, you've never seen it?
Well, hold on real quick. Don't Fear the Reaper Blue Oyster Cult was number 9, and Halloween theme from John Carpenter was number 10 in that list. Oh, I've seen pictures of of that.
He looks awesome. Yeah,
And I think we actually had it in something. Anyways, I didn't know that was. I did not know that was Tim Curry.
Curry,
though.
man.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
pretty cool.
He's so good at being villains.
Yeah.
God, this
The
freaking
MLS
beer is
it's
still so good.
fantastic. I'm over halfway through it.
So the last thing we're going to do is just look at the playoffs.
Yeah, but before we do that, let's round down how each conference ended the regular season. The Eastern Conference, number 1, as we said, New York Red Bulls on again, number 71 points. Atlanta United on 69 were number 2. NYCFC, number 3 on 56 points, despite losing their manager halfway
gap.
in the year. Yeah, huge gap. DC United comes in at number 4th on 51 points. Columbus Crew, 5th, 51 points. Philadelphia Union sneak into the playoffs as well, as they, I believe, won their match, or maybe drew their match. And they were on 48 points. Below the drop and below the line, number 7, Montreal Impact on 46 points. New England Revolution on 38 points. Toronto FC on 33 points. Chicago Fire on 31. And at the bottom of the East are Orlando City Lions on 28 points.
In the Western Conference, you have top of the table Sporting KC on 62 points. Second place is Seattle Sounders on 59 points. Third place, LAFC on 57. Fourth place, FC Dallas at 57 points. Only difference there is the goal differential. Fifth is Portland Timbers on 54 points. Sixth is Real Salt Lake just squeaking in on 49 points. And then below the line, 7th place, Los Angeles Galaxy at 48 points. 8th place, Vancouver Whitecaps on 47 points. 9th place, Houston Dynamo on 38. 10th place, Minnesota United FC, who seem very unlikely to ever crack below the top 10 or crack the top 10. That's what I'm trying to say.
They're always going to be kind of below that top 10, yeah.
Yeah, 36 points. In 11th, you have Colorado Rapids on 31, and then San Jose Earthquakes round out the bottom of the table on 21 points.
And maybe the bottom of both in the entire league on sure points-wise, but I think Orlando City had the worst year out of everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, San Jose also had a real rough go. They were both pretty wretched.
Yeah.
Just wretched.
Playoffs are set, though, in the MLS. Bracket style.
Today it's boo, 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 boo.
Well, that's right. Say that wrong, you could be in for some trouble. Okay.
Why is that? Sorry, I'm behind.
Are
we just moving on?
Yeah, we're moving on.
Okay.
We're just moving on. Because I'm an idiot.
But you just reminded me of something.
What did it remind you?
It's fine. Well, it's for later.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Like, why are you writing down on your notepad?
I'm saying that as many ways.
Don't you worry. I got you covered, Ferris. This is for later. Go on. You're fine.
Oh, he's probably writing a damn poem again. Good Lord. The MLS playoffs are set, as we said. Bracket style here. I guess we'll run through our predictions fairly quick. We'll start off on the Eastern Conference side of things. New York Red Bulls obviously get a bye as they were top of the table. You have NYCFC playing the Philadelphia Union. Mr. Blake, who do you think is going through in that matchup?
Between NYCFC and the Philadelphia Union?
Yep.
NYFC all the way.
Set up a New York.
Yep. You mean NYCFC versus Red Bulls?
Wait, what do they call it? The Hudson River rivalry?
Yes.
Something to that extent. Mr. Ron, who do you think's going through?
Philly's not on the Hudson River.
No. By saying NYCFC goes,
correct.
It'll be between Red Bulls and NYCFC, which would then be
in the next game. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm going with NYCFC.
I you know what? I'll go against the grain here, and I'll go with Philadelphia Union. Although
your bracket is busted.
Although they are sneaking into the playoffs, I think they have an all-around better squad at this current moment than NYCFC does. David Villa hasn't been hitting too hot, so yeah, I'll go with the Union. Okay, going over to the other bracket of games in the East. DC United take on the Columbus Crew. Blake?
Because of the form they've been rolling on, I'm going to say DC United win this match.
I like it. Ron?
DC?
Yeah, I don't really see any way that DC's not going to go through. I think they're rolling in with a lot of momentum at the moment, so I will go with Wayne Rooney and DC United as well to take on Atlanta in that second round. Switching over to the West for their first round of matches, you have LAFC against Real Salt Lake. Mr. Blake?
Bob Bradley. LAFC. That's Real Salt Lake has no shot at this.
Same here.
That should
Yeah, I'm gonna go bland, and I'm gonna do the same as you all went because again, I think Bob Bradley and the LAFC are just too strong for Real Salt Lake. They didn't sneak in, but didn't necessarily do themselves any favors towards the end of the year to secure that spot. FC Dallas and Portland in the other round in the West.
I'm going to go Portland.
Portland? Ron?
Dallas.
Ooh, why do you think Dallas is going to beat Portland?
I think they're firing at the right time of the season. They had a little bit of a slump mid-season, and they clawed their way back into better form. So I think they're going to that momentum is going to carry them in.
All right. I like Portland in this game. I think Portland, kind of in the same respect, have played some good matches towards the end here, and I think they're going to roll in a little bit hot. Okay, switching back over to the East. So you have the winner of NYCFC and Philadelphia Union playing the Red Bulls. Who do you have out of that? Blake, you picked NYCFC.
Oh, we're going to go all the way through?
Yeah, we'll all the way through.
I think Red Bulls take NYCFC, and Red Bulls win that match, or win that round of matches.
Cool. Ron, you had NYCFC as well?
Yeah, I think the Red Bulls will take that.
Cool. I had Philadelphia Union, but I do think New York Red Bulls would take that next matchup. And then you have the winner of DC United and Columbus Crew taking on Atlanta. Ron, you had DC United.
I'm going to say DC United takes it.
I like it. Blake, I think you had DC United as well.
Because of what just happened with Atlanta, I would never have said this. I just said this is where the Cinderella DC United story ends. But I think because of what happened with Atlanta, then asked the coach, I'm going to go DC United. It's like a close game, but a Wayne Rooney penalty gets it through.
Okay. I will say DC United as well, 'cause I'm going more DC and Rooney here. However,
You're going with your heart.
I'm going with my heart.
My brain still says this is a strong possibility to happen.
Yeah, my brain's telling me otherwise. My brain's saying Atlanta at home in the playoffs. They have a couple weeks here to get that mindset back right. I think Atlanta will probably win this, but I would like to see DC, so I'll go with DC as my final pick. Okay, going back over to the West, the winner of LAFC and Real Salt Lake take on Sporting KC. Blake, you had LAFC.
LAFC.
Take it over Sporting.
Yep.
Ron, you had LAFC as well.
Sporting KC takes it. They've been too consistent all season.
KC. And Ron, I'll stick in suit there with you because I think Sporting KC have been there before. They'll also have that home field advantage. LAFC, well, they've had a great year. I don't know if they're quite up and used to the playoffs, a lot like Atlanta was last year. So, yeah, I'll go with Sporting as well. And then the Sounders take on the winner of FC Dallas and Portland. Blake, you had Portland in that? No, I'm sorry. You had
Portland against
Portland.
Seattle.
Yeah, sorry.
Honestly, Seattle takes this. Close, though.
All right, Ron. You had Dallas in this.
FC Dallas takes it.
FC Dallas.
Bit of an upset.
You some FC Dallas. I will actually go Portland in this. I think Portland are kind of doing one of those runs that's...
It was hard to say Seattle because Portland's been on a good run.
Seattle's been on a good run, but still no Dempsey, no Morris. I don't know how much further they can kind of keep this going. And I think Portland, if it is one of those, Cascadia derby games, I don't think Seattle's going to have quite enough. All right, Red Bulls and whoever you each had, I believe Blake, you had NYCFC and Red Bulls. So who do you have?
No, we already said this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So it would be Red. So now we're to our final four. So Red Bulls, for me, be Red Bulls versus DC United.
Correct.
I think this is where the Cinderella story ends and the Red Bulls advance to the finals.
All right, Ron, you had the same thing there.
DC United.
All right.
Oh, sticking with the DC United bandwagon.
I think it'd be fun if that happens. I just think Red Bulls will get this one.
I said it on the last pod. I'll stick with that. I like DC United to go to the Eastern Conference Final on this magical run that they're doing. Moving over to the West, you would have Blake. You would have LAFC in Seattle. Who do you got?
LAFC really frustrates and annoys Atlanta United because in their first year they go to the finals.
All right. Ron, you had FC Dallas and Sporting KC. So who do you got?
I'm going to keep with Dallas.
You like you some Dallas, man.
Yeah, I think they're going to upset Sporting KC.
All right, well, let's stick with you. You then have FC Dallas and DC United in the final of the MLS for the MLS Cup. Who do you got?
Say that again.
You have FC Dallas and DC United in the final.
DC United.
I like DC United all the way. I like it. Blake, you on the other side have Red Bulls and LAFC in the final.
Bob Bradley, LAFC.
LAFC, you sticking on that Will Ferrell bandwagon.
Yep. I am an excellent marksman. That's him in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I don't know why it was my favorite delivery of Will Ferrell. Anything.
Mom, meatloaf! We want it now! I never know what she's doing back there. Sorry, I probably just woke up.
It's okay. My wife will come punch you. She knows it's going to be
That's
you.
True. Okay, so I had Portland and DC United in the finals. God, I would love DC to win it all, but I think Portland will probably end up pulling it off. They've been there before. These
are all fun things we've all just said. I would gladly watch any of these playoff runs to go this way.
Yeah.
I'll go Portland there, but there's some good matchups here, especially when you get into that second round of games. There'll be some, no matter who Sporting KC,
I do think
Seattle,
this DC
Atlanta,
United
Red Bulls play.
Columbus Crew first go is going to be a tight one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so, just real quick, the schedule happens pretty quick. October 31st, which is this coming Wednesday,
which is Halloween,
is the NYCFC Philadelphia Union match at 7 p.m. The Dallas versus Portland Timbers is a 9:30 p.m. Eastern match. Sorry, all times are Eastern. November 1st is DC United versus the Columbus Crew at 8 p.m. And then LAFC versus Real Salt Lake at 10:30 p.m. November 4th, Sunday, is leg one. So the winner versus Sporting KC and the winner versus...
Oh, so it's the second round where they start the home and away.
Yeah. And then Seattle Sounders FC versus, and New York Red Bulls versus, and Atlanta versus. And then November 8th will be the quarters, and November 11th. And that rounds it all out. So the schedule happens pretty rapid fire. It'll all be done by the 11th. So it happens pretty fast.
Yep.
It's here in just a couple days, and then it rolls straight through pretty fast. Pretty fast, eh? Well, gentlemen, I think that's our spooky Halloween special. Ladies and gents that are listening, if you like the show, do us a favor because it helps spread the word. Share the show via your favorite social media, or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, however you're listening to us. Take a screen grab of that and drop us a line. Send it to us, and we will get some koozies and some magnets out your way. Follow us on Instagram, Untapped, Twitter at Brewtiful Game. Follow us on Facebook, or just go to the website, thebrutifulgame.com, and you will find all those things. I think that kind of sums it all up for us, gents.
Yeah, man.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, shall we end with a Halloween-themed dad joke?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
God. Did you wrote one? That's what you were writing?
I adapted one.
Oh, good Lord.
Uh-oh.
Why do dead bees make milk instead of honey? Because they're boobies.
It's actually pretty good.
So Blake saw where I was going with that.
Yeah.
God, we're such children.
Ow.